Comparative linguistics, so it compares the similarities and differences found in two languages. So the study of similarities and differences between two languages. So in comparative linguistics, linguists take two languages and study them. The comparison of related languages with a view to reconstructing forms in their lost parent languages. So when the linguist compares two languages, so what he does is he reconstructs the language from where these two languages have come from. There he goes for the main source of those languages. So a branch of historical linguistics concerned with comparing languages. So this comparative linguistics is also a branch of historical linguistics which studies histories of the languages to establish their historical relatedness. So in comparative linguistics, we see that how languages have been at some point in time together, or they have come from the similar sources. What are their similarities? What are their dissimilarities? So every difference between two related languages should be explicable to a high degree of plausibility and systematic changes. So it must tell that all the changes that the linguist points out must be very much systematic. He must need to tell that how these changes have taken place, how a certain sound has moved from voiceless to voiced, or voiced to voiceless, from bilabial to fricative, or to anything like this, or how structures have changed, how subject has started to be used in the first place, or in the second place, or in any other place of the sentence. So a proto-language or a parent language. So when the linguist studies languages, compare languages, he reaches the proto-language, that is the main source of the language, or that is the parent language. So a language L from which other languages have developed is the parent language or proto-language. So languages L1 and L2 are called sister languages. So the languages that have come from that parent language are called sister languages. For example, we know that both French and English have come from the same parents, so they are sister languages. So they together make a language family. Proto-Indo-European. This is probably the biggest language group found in linguistics. The proto-languages reconstructed by the comparative method are hypothetical. Reconstruction may have predictive power. So proto-languages, languages of the same family, reconstructed by comparative method, by comparing their phonological, morphological, syntactic, and semantic entities, we make a hypothesis that how language develop from each other, or from their main source. So reconstruction may have predictive power or value. So when we reconstruct the language by using the methods in which computer is very helpful, and we find that this sound would be like this at a certain point in time, when we reconstruct a language of the past, or its past usage. Saussure's proposal that the Indo-European consonant system contained laryngeals. So Saussure, the great linguist of the first part of the last century, so he said that in Indo-European languages there is a laryngeal sounds like close to the fricative, voiceless fricative ha sound, which is glottal sound. Saussure's proposal that the Indo-European consonant system contained laryngeals a type of consonant attested in no Indo-European language known at the time. So when Saussure made this claim of the laryngeal sound, till that time it was not known in any language of this group in which this laryngeal consonants were used. However, later with the discovery of Hittite language, it was known that this consonant or these consonants were very much there in that language. Cognate. So when we are comparing two languages and we find that two words in two language at morphological, phonological, or syntactic or lexical level are similar to each other, are close to each other, we call them cognates. For example, we say that common ancestor in the Italic branch of Indo-European. For example, we take Spanish and we find the word madre, padre, amico. So mother, father, and friend. So we take the same words in Italian and find madre, same pronunciation, padre, and amico, amico and amigo. Only g and k, which are obviously the place is the same, but the voicing is changed. So they are called cognates. So they tell us that these two languages at some point in time belong to the same source or were the example of the same source. Common ancestors in English and German. For example, in English we find mother, father, and friend, right? So in German, Mutter, Wetter, and friend. So not very good pronunciation in German. So we find that these are cognates, mother and Mutter, English and in German, and similarly father and friend. So you see that mother and Mutter, they have the same initial bilabial sound. But so far as the father is concerned, father is a labiodental voiceless, and Wetter is a labiodental voice. So here the voicing has changed. And so far as the third word is concerned, their voicing, their place is the same and their voicing is the same. So this is one scene of Proto-Indo-European languages. This is the biggest family of the language families. So we have main source parent language and then the sub-languages, sister languages, and daughter languages. So comparative linguistics, like historical linguistics, studies law operating in language change, that how language change from voicing to voiceless, from bilabial to labiodental, and then so on and so forth. And then in the formation and development of languages, hence the type of studies related to descriptive linguistics. Since the linguist describes the languages, the way languages were used in the past and how they have come from which source they have evolved. So he is making a descriptive study of the language.